One of the exciting new features we've added to Wando is the ability to send people an approval request or rejection request for an image. What it looks like is the customer or the person you're sending the image to will receive an email that says review request or image review request. You get to choose. It'll have your business name, and then it'll have a note that you put in here, and then it'll have the image you want them to review. They can approve or reject it, and when they do, it just pops up a little window here, and they can add notes if they want to, like change the background color. And then when they send it, you'll get a copy in your email, and you'll get to see that information in Wando as well, whether it was approved or rejected. So how do you set this really cool feature up? Well, you go into Wando Express, you go Settings, Preferences, Workflow. So go all the way down and enable. You'll need a couple of things enabled. Actually, you'll need to enable to do tracking and image flags. You'll need to enable review request, okay, and enable email mentions and to-dos. So then here's where you set up your business name, or you can say image review request instead of just review request. Here, put in your company name or who you want it to come from. Wando, okay, and then that. So then right here, or you can just leave it with the name field, and that will just show the image right there, the image name. So you pick your provider. Gmail is the easiest, and then we also have options for Proton as well, so we'll go through both. You put in your email right here, and then there we go. You do have to have two-factor authentication set up on your Gmail in order for this to work. So if you do not have two-factor authentication set up, it will pop up a little error message that says this option is not available for your Gmail account. So you have to go back and put two-factor authentication on your Gmail for it to come up right. So you put your email in there. You would click get one. It tells you right here about the two-factor authentication. And you click OK. And then here. So if your account does not have two-factor authentication set up, it will look like this. It'll say it's not available on your account. If you do have it set up, it'll bring you to this right here. So it says app passwords. So to create the new app password, you'll go ahead and click that, put in Wando, create, and then you just copy that, come back over to Wando, enter your password, test a connection. Okay, and once you get your password, you get it all put in, you hit test connection, and it should say sent a test email, and make sure it comes back successfully. So then after all of that set up, you would hit OK, and you're all done for the Gmail or the Google setup. So to set up the email for a Proton account, you would click Proton Bridge. You'd set up your email there, set up Bridge. It's going to tell you what to do here. Click OK, and then we do download for Windows. Click your exe. Okay, so then you'll see the Proton Bridge launch right there. Start setup. You put in your email and password. Okay, here you'll just set up the email client later. Okay, once you have the Proton Bridge logged into and set up, you'll be able to hit password, copy the password right here, put it right over here into Wando and hit test connection, and then it should show sent a test email successfully. And that means you're all set up and ready to go. Now, to actually send an image to someone, you would go over here to your to-do list. You can drag in an image from off of your computer, or you can just go ahead and make a note right here. You'll add a task, say review image for next Wednesday, or next week. You could do that, doesn't really matter. And then you'll put who it is right here. So you would be able to put in whatever email address you want in here, or assign it to a person yourself, or if you have other people working in the app for tasks. So you would put the email address in here, right there, and then you would just hit, so you could attach an image here. You could attach an image from your computer if you wanted to. If you didn't have one, there we go. For example, we could just do this one. Okay. And then we'll just hit send. And now that will send that to that email and ask them for a review request, just like you've seen before. Okay, so if you do the task, like I just mentioned, and then you send it, they'll get a note like this. But this doesn't actually send them the accept or reject option. So how do you send an image review request? The best way is to go ahead and click on the image that you generated that you want reviewed, and you would put request review, put in the email address of who you want it to go to, and put in your note, is this okay for Monday, whatever it might be, right? And then you just hit send. Once you send it, let's send that too, you can see what it looks like here. So this is what it'll look like in the customer's email, image review request. You'll click on that. They can hit approve or reject. Okay, so let's say we approve this one right here and say, looks good, and then send. Okay, so then when you come back to Wando, right here, this one here will show image review or image requested in review, right? And then when it checks again, which sometimes it takes a little while, it can take up to like 5 minutes, then it will show whether that person reviewed it and whether they said it has been approved or rejected. So then this is what it will look like in Wando. So when you go to do, you'll see that the image request had been sent. This one is done. This one is rejected. And then if you put a new one in there, for example, request review, it shows up as in process. So we can just do that, right? And then as soon as you send it, it'll put in review right here. So this one's in review, nobody's responded, done means it's accepted, and then you have the notes right here, looks good. You asked if it was okay for Monday, and then right here, this one was rejected. Why? Here's the note from the customer. It said 4 ears fix. So that will all show up right there. And then as a side note, when you're doing the social media calendar or calendar in general, if you choose to, green means it's done and it's approved, red would mean it's rejected. So it will show up right there on the calendar whether it's good to go or not.